Right, Operation Repair the Trough is currently underway. Well, we're raking. We finally got it. So we've got the 6130M here. I put the dome on just so we can record what we're doing. John has got himself going again. We just passed each other coming out of the yard. But there's a bit of evidence to prove it. Morning, good people of YouTube. How are we doing? Look at this, an absolutely glorious day in Devon. Loving life. We're down in one of our hay meadows. We got some grass here that we cut 2 days ago, and it's crispy. It is really crispy. We were not expecting this sun today. It said it was going to be windy. It's not really windy, but it is blimmin' hot. And this grass I cut, when did I cut it? 2 days ago. It's gone dry. It's going to make hay. We're in one of those predicaments that many people find themselves in, whereby the weather forecast has somewhat changed. And so we were going to leave this over the weekend. Today's Friday. And bale it on Monday, but they now give rain tomorrow, so I'm going to turn it this morning. I'm going to have lunch, I'm going to turn it again after lunch, and then we're going to row it up and we will make hay of it. With this sun out now, I've got absolutely no doubts in my mind that we will. So we've got the 6130M here. I put the dome on just so we can record what we're doing. I haven't got the steering wheel in, so there's no auto steer. And our Pottinger turner does a bloody good job. Yeah, this stuff, I mean, it's a lot further on than I thought it was. It might only want flicking around quickly. Yeah, so then later on I'll come and row it up and we'll get John in his favourite combination of big boots and the baler, and we'll make some hay bales. Thank you to everyone that has been subscribing recently. We are shooting for 20,000 subscribers and we are well on the way there. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It is completely free, doesn't cost you a penny, really helps me out. And whilst you're there, give the video a like because that also helps. Right, first field done. Hopefully you can see a bit of the difference. It's all fluffed up a bit of a different shade of green. Sort of turned it upside down on its head and it will start doing a bit of drying now. This is the reason we turn it out, so you can see all this green stuff here. That is still got a bit of sap in it, and there's some very green stuff there, look. That all needs to dry down before it goes into a bale. If you bale hay too quickly, anything that is still green and got moisture in it like that will just heat up inside the bale. You tend to struggle more with square bales because people like to get them in the shed immediately because the moisture can sort of ingress into them. Whereas we're going to round bale this, so if there is a tiny bit of green in it still, it doesn't really matter. What we'll do is we'll leave the bales out here for a week or so and let them make or sweat so that any of the moisture that is still in them can dry out just whilst they're not stacked up. That way it's far less dangerous than putting them in the shed, and we can come and get them whenever we want to. And because they're round, if they get rained on, the water sort of just runs off the edges. Whereas a square bale, the water's got nowhere to go other than straight into the bale. Yeah, it's one of those jobs that gets bits of chaff absolutely everywhere. Really makes it dusty and itchy and all the good stuff that comes along with haymaking. We'll let this dry now for a couple of hours. We'll come back and probably flick it again once, and then we'll get the rake on it. The good thing about raking it up is it makes the row quite high. It really lets the air get in underneath. So anything that isn't quite fit to bale just gets as much air as it can up until the moment that it is baled. Right, sports fans, can you see the difference? Turned, not turned. There is a bit of greenery in this. It's a bit heavier in here, this field. Here's the job we're doing. It's got it sweeping the ground absolutely perfectly. I'm playing around with the top link and the bracketry there on top. Now tedders are one of those machines that if you don't set up properly, or you're not quite sure how to set up, you can do an awful lot of damage to them by breaking tines and bending things and smacking the ground and all sorts. But if you just take the time to set them up, they can work an absolute dream. You should be able to hear, if I open the window, can't hear any tines clanging around. That means we're just sweeping the stubble perfectly. Best place to set up a tedder, if you ever want to set one up, is on the most level piece of concrete you can find. And get it so you're like, I don't know, a couple centimetres above the ground, with the whole thing turning, and that will allow for a bit of stubble, and that will set you in good stead for going turning. Good thing about these river meadows is they are long and thin, so it's nice long work. By the time I've been up and down a couple of times, we'll be done in this field and we'll be on to the one over there. John's going to come down and have a look, because I rang him to say I don't know if this will want turning again. We might get away with just raking it up later on this evening and baling it. So he's going to come have a look. We've got some cows that have been a bit naughty with their drinker overnight, and need to go and give a bit of attention to a drinking trough. We might go and stick a big concrete one in the field to ring, because we've got a spare one. These little black plastic drinkers you get, made for sheep or calves really, and we got 30 cows in the field with one, and they're kicking it around the field, so we can go and sort that out. Right, operation repair the trough is currently underway. Somewhere in all the undergrowth or overgrowth, there is a trough, and there it is. I want a bit of a clean. It's been a dumping ground.
The rest there's more bits and pieces in slugs.
Here is the situation. Concrete pad, that little black plastic drinker was on it. How it's in one piece though, I don't know. We got this concrete one, we're going to plonk on here. Here is where the water comes in and out, so there's a stop tap in there, and then comes to this pipe. Plumb that pipe up the back of that drinker, and then tee off of it straight through the hedge, because there's another concrete one on the other side that this water also feeds. So we're going to make 2 good drinkers, and then have 1 stop tap above ground that we can turn off if we need to. We are winning. Trough is now all working. This will keep them happy. The cows have decided to just go and do their own thing. They're not interested in us at all. For this now, the cows won't be able to move. Problem with these ones, they're fine for sheep. The cows just play with them like they're footballs or something. So that thing weighs a couple ton. By the time it's got some water in it, so good job done. Clear up all my tools, put them all back in the Pioneer, head back, rake on, grow up some grass. Well, we're raking. We finally got it. What an afternoon it has been. I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute. We've come en masse. There's the man in the baler, Mr. Bowman. Just squirting out his first bale. The grass is fit. We've had a stunning afternoon of sunshine. It's been red hot, and the wind's picked up as well. This afternoon we got a field to go and turn the other field that was a bit green this morning, again for a second time, so that's now baking in the sun. Any green bits should be gone. We went and did the water trough, which you saw, and then I thought I'd lost my glasses, not the ones I'm wearing but my actual normal glasses, so I went back over there to look for them, found out they were in the Pioneer that I was driving. Oh, there it goes. Bales are sticking in the chamber a bit. Anyway, so I thought I lost my glasses, went and looked for them, and then turns out they were in the vehicle I was in. Good one from you, Josh. Then we come back, so I was going to go on raking, and then somebody said that there was a load of cows running around the hay, and they thought they were our neighbours. So me, John and Phil went down to have a look, and it turns out our cows had got out of one of our fields and into a wood actually down behind me. They got out of a little personnel gate in the corner that people use to get to the water flumes for the drains that had been left open, so the cattle had wandered out into the wood, and then the wood into the hayfield. Anyway, managed to call them back, got them in, and yeah, unhooked the bale wrapper from yesterday, put the rake on. John's down there with the baler, Phil's just gone back with the turner. Busy old day, I tell you. Right, we're just having a look at the baler here. We've come to the conclusion that we don't have a clue why it's holding the bales in the back door, but it is. John said he's cut the density on the bales as we've been going, so they're not as packed in, which is good for hay anyway. You want it to be able to breathe. As with all good problems, you let them develop, see what happens. How about that for a row of grass, look. Oh, look at that, nice crispy hay. That is some proper 2-day hay, that is. There is the odd green bit, but it's green and dry. It's not like it's green and wet. The sap's gone. Anyway, I better stay ahead of Bowman. Yeah, it's done it again. There you are, John. I got it. Anyway, let's crack on. What is the shortest amount of time you have made hay in? I can remember one summer with Squeak and Mandy, where we made some 1-day hay. When Squeak cut it in the morning, I turned it right behind him. We then turned it after lunch, waited a couple more hours, Mandy rode it up, and then baled it in the evening. It was like 16-hour hay or something. up where they live in the east of the country, it does get seriously hot. It was something ridiculous. It was like 34, 35 degrees. Too hot to be baling in. Well, he's still going. I've just been in and baled this tiny little paddock. Not baled it, I've been in there raking it. John's still going here in this field. I don't know if he's getting on any better. The CBs don't work very well down here. Ah, there's a technique to it now, look. The old dump the clutch. Well, I'm in the last field now. This is the one that Phil come out and turned again this afternoon. I think it's definitely paid to come and turn it again. There's a lot more even, there's a lot less green in it than there was this morning. John's actually broken down with the baler. We've got a ongoing issue with one of the chains on it. But the issue is created by us really, is the joining link broke on the chain and we've sort of been bodging it. And we're still bodging it. And every time we bodge it, we'll say, well, we better order a new link, but we never do. And John has gone to bodge it again. It'll actually make some really nice hay this. We'll get out and have a look at the grass at the end. Thank you to everyone that's commenting on tonight's video. It's Friday the 11th of August at the moment. So the second cut video's just gone up. So if you're watching it, thank you. We are done! Rake did a fantastic job, as always. Right, let's have a look at this grass. Now, I've got sunglasses on, so it probably doesn't look as green as it does on the camera. There's the odd bit like this, which is obviously too green to bale for hay, really. But what we do is we just put that there, and we don't have to worry about it. But as I said earlier, these bales are going to be left outside, so it's not going to matter if there's a bit of green in them. The density of the bales, again, as I said earlier, John has turned right down, so they have the ability to breathe and sweat, which means they'll be absolutely fine, this stuff that we are baling. The majority of it is really nice, dry, crispy, but still green hay. God, what a beautiful night it's turned into as well. Shame it's going to rain tomorrow, really. Bad news, sports fans. No sign of any baler anywhere. This is the first field we rode up. Means John must still be back the yard broken down. John has got himself going again. We just passed each other coming out of the yard, but there's a bit of evidence to prove it. He's dropped a bale in the yard there. They are lovely bales. Right, we've got one more stop and then it's home for the weekend. Cheeky little stop on the way home. Look at the progress the lads have made on this. I mean, half of it's gone. So 3 chaps turned up this morning to start on the shed demolition, which they're taking down very gently because they're taking it away. This morning they got the entire roof off, all the cladding off the side, and now they're just slowly working their way around the timbers. But what a difference it makes just looking at it without a roof on. Makes it all seem a bit real that this is going. It'll be a bit odd without it. See, they piled up some of the wood. They've had to do a bit of groundwork around the outside of this. Is all getting levelled off to be a concrete yard. That's the current water supply that comes in there as well, so they've got to be a bit careful around that. But yeah, just look at it. So that will still be the end of the building there, and the building will actually be extended that way, but there'll be a yard on the end that way. So there will be another bay here, and then probably about where their fencing is, it will be a concrete yard with panels. Somewhere where we can push dung up to if we need to. There's all the straw that's been stuck down the side of the building over the years. Now they've taken the cladding off. Heavy plates, look, with hangings on. Don't make them like that no more. But yeah, thought you guys might be just a bit interested to keep up with the updates of the shed as it's going along. By the end of next week, that'll be completely different. I'll be gone. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. For future shed updates, for all the other exciting stuff that's going on, we got harvest to come, we got silage to come, loads and loads of cool stuff to come on the channel very soon. Drop down to the description for all the links for merch and all my other socials if you want those as well. And we'll see you on another video very soon. Cheerio.